Welcome to PacWest Magazine, the radio show. The show about our exciting Pacific West Conference. The PacWest is made up of NCAA Division II universities from Arizona and Utah to California and Hawaii. It's the most beautiful and diverse athletic conference in the entire NCAA. This is Commissioner Bob Hogue, inviting you to join our outstanding coaches, student-athletes, and administrators as we talk about the great excitement in the PacWest. Now here's Assistant Commissioner Tom Camillo, live from our studios in Santan, Arizona.
It's a lot warmer today, Joe, than it was a week ago here in the Santan Valley.
But it's still a little chilly.
It's
starting to go down again.
Is it?
I think so.
It's going to be warm in the studio. Actually, we have a lot of ambiance in the studio today.
Right.
It's a very official day. Today is the Pacific West Conference Softball Media Day. We'll announce the 2013 preseason All-PacWest softball team and the predicted order of finish as voted upon by the coaches. This year, the PacWest has 12 softball teams. We'll interview 7 of the coaches, starting with Carrie Weber of Azusa Pacific University. Ann Pearson from Grand Canyon will join us. Sarah Iwada from Dominican. Steve Rionda from NDNU. Lisa Thur from Holy Names University. David George from BYU Hawaii. And Kent Yamaguchi from Chaminade will be the guest coaches today. It'll be rapid fire. We'll have each coach on for about just a few minutes talking about their upcoming season. And at this time, let's talk about the predicted order of finish. Pick to repeat as the PacWest champions this year, California Baptist University. Last year, the Lancers were 26-4 in their debut in the conference, 49-6 overall. Tied for second, Dixie State College of Utah and Grand Canyon University, each with 127 points. Cal Baptist had 6 first-place votes. Dixie State had 4, Grand Canyon 2. In total points, Cal Baptist had 133, Dixie and Grand Canyon 127 each. Fourth, Hawaii Pacific 22-10 in the conference last year. They finished 4th last year. Azusa Pacific picked to finish 5th. This is their first year in the conference in the PacWest. They had 92 points. Hawaii Hilo picked to finish 6th. Academy of Arts 7th, NDNU 8th, Chaminade 9th, BYU Hawaii 10th, and then tied at 11th, Dominican and Holy Names. The preseason all-conference team in the Pacific West Conference at your first baseman, Sloan McCann, who was a member of the California Baptist University team last year. She's out of Modesto, California. She was a second-team choice All-PacWest last year. Her teammate, Amara Rodriguez, who was a first-team third baseman last year, was selected to the preseason team as a second baseman, also, again, from California Baptist. Kelsey Barrick from Grand Canyon University, the player and freshman of the year in the conference last year and a first-teamer, is a shortstop on the preseason team. Emily Green from Hawaii Hilo is the third baseman. Brandy Andrews from Azusa Pacific, Elise Cordova from Academy of Art, Courtney Sherwin from Dixie State are your 3 outfielders. Cordova is a 2-time All-PacWest selection, first-teamer last year, second-teamer 2 years ago. Courtney Sherman was a second-teamer last year for Dixie State. Also from Dixie State, the preseason catcher is Marla Ryder from Dixie State. She was a second-teamer last year. Your pitchers are Maddie Snow from Dixie State and Rita Kim from Azusa Pacific. Those are your preseason pitchers. And Nicole Upshaw from Grand Canyon is the designated player. Your preseason pitcher of the year, Maddie Snow from Dixie State College of Utah. And then your preseason player of the year shouldn't be a real big surprise. Last year's player of the year, Kelsey Barrick from Grand Canyon University. So there's your preseason All-PacWest team along with the predicted order of finish. And at this time, joining us is Carrie Weaver from Azusa Pacific. Carrie, welcome to the PacWest Radio Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Carrie, you get the lead off here. The coaches are going to speak today, and this is your first year in the conference. You've had a very successful program at Azusa Pacific. Let's get your initial sort of thoughts about going into the PacWest and what you've seen in terms of competition.
Well, we're very excited about being in the new conference. I don't think we really know exactly what to expect, which is kind of the excitement of it. We're really excited about the new challenge and the new journey that the PacWest brings us and the NCAA brings us. So we have seen a couple of the opponents, like Cal Baptist was in our conference up until last year, and we played a few other teams in our conference in preseason play in the last few years. So we have a little bit of an idea, but right now, I just think it's just a new experience for us, and we're very excited to see how we will fare in the season and what will happen at the end. Really,
When you look at for the fans that are just learning about the new teams in the PacWest, if you had to describe Azusa Pacific softball, can you kind of capsulize that for the fans that are listening?
Azusa Pacific softball, I'd say we're a dynamic team that likes to run, likes to hit. We have a pretty good pitching staff that we'll bring. I think we're just an all around solid team. You're not going to see a lot of superstars stand out, but just a cohesive team that loves to play together and loves to have fun on the field and hopefully bring a little bit of what Christ wants us to do on the field in everyday life as well. So we're just really excited to go out and show people what Azusa Pacific is and how we can compete in this conference.
When a school comes into a new conference and you do these sort of preseason polls and preseason teams, new teams tend not to get a lot of votes just because coaches aren't familiar with them. But you guys landed 2 players in Brandy Andrews and Rita Kim on the preseason squad. That speaks volumes for the program. Can you talk about those 2 players and what we can expect to see from them this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that those 2 girls were selected. This is a new process for us, and seeing their names up there was actually very exciting. So, Rita Kim and Brandy Andrews are both seniors for us. 2 of 10 seniors that we have returning, and so with Rita, you're gonna see a feisty. She's not real big in stature, but she's pretty feisty on the mound, and she throws the ball pretty hard for her size. And Brandy is kind of a utility player for us, plays a little infield, plays a lot of outfield, but has a good bat and good power. So, and she can hit well, she can run well, and she can play defense well. So she's a good all-around ball player for us.
Carrie, who do you guys open up with?
We open up with Holy Names on February 21st. And that'll be at home for us.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We appreciate you joining us on the PacWest Softball Media Day, and we look forward to seeing Azusa Pacific and the excitement they bring to the PacWest.
Thank you so much. We're really looking forward to it.
All right. Carrie Weaver from Azusa Pacific University, and now Ann Pearson from Grand Canyon will be joining us. And again, Kelsey Barrick is the preseason player of the year from Grand Canyon. She's a shortstop, just had an outstanding season last year. Barrick, during her rookie year, earning both the player and freshman of the year. She ended 2012 hitting .408 in 57 starts.
Softball.
Hi, is this Ann?
Yes.
Ann, Tom D. Camillo, welcome to PacWest Radio.
How are you?
Good. Great to have you on.
Well, thank you.
We want to, I don't know if you heard or knew that Kelsey Barrick is named the preseason player of the year. And Nicole,
I did.
And Nicole Upshaw is on the preseason team as well. Let's start right with Kelsey. I mean, I was looking over her stats and just telling the fans she hit .408 last year as a rookie, dominated player of the year, freshman of the year, 73 base hits. Just one of those unbelievable performances for a rookie. How can she top that this year?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I I sure hope she figures out a way to, though. That'd be kind of fun. So, yeah, she's funny because she was always a leadoff or a 2-hitter, and then when she came in here, I told her she originally started off as our 4-hitter, and I moved her up to 3, and she was a little confused, and she was like, "Coach, I usually lead off or hit in the 2 spot," and I said, "I need you in an RBI spot," and she was a little bit surprised and uncomfortable, and then kind of got her legs under her, and yeah, she just took off. She is a tough player.
What did you see in her to make that switch? Because obviously it worked well.
Yeah, well, just watching her, I mean, certainly as a recruit, but also, once she got in here and she was, she's a tiny thing, and but she has such incredible bat speed that allows her to put up power numbers, and there's just no wasted motion in her swing, and she is able to drive the ball to all fields. She's a tough out. Because of that, she runs very well from the right side of the plate, and then when she's underway, she's just phenomenal on the base. So, we had kids that were getting on in front, and we knew we needed an RBI kid that was going to get them around, and it all worked out. She just did a great job for us as a freshman.
The way you described her and her size, do you think that is deceptive when people are playing her in the field, that she has that much power?
Yeah, I really do, and because it was funny. Our home field, we're in the first base dugout, and there were a lot of times that coaches would mention that to me early on in the season, and kind of in a joking way of, "You've got to be kidding me! This kid's little, and she's hitting there, and then she's hitting the ball over the fence." And I was like, "Well, yeah, she makes me look like a genius." So, yeah. So she and that's what it is. I mean, she's strong. There is an ounce of fat on that kid, and she is a strong kid. But again, there's so much bat speed there, and such an awareness of hitting and situational hitting and strike zone management. She's just a complete hitter.
Let's talk a little bit about Nicole Upshaw, who's also on the preseason team, your designated player. Let's talk about her and what she brings to the table for the Antelopes.
Well, the thing about Nick, she actually started the year, and she was more of a pinch hitter, pinch runner, backup shortstop, backup third baseman, because she's really a utility infielder, and so she had some opportunities at third, a little bit here and there, but she had some mechanical things that she was really working on to kind of tighten up to be a successful hitter at the college level. And that's a kid that goes out, and I mean, just last week when we got all the rain here, she was out hitting in the rain, in the cage, and she spends a lot of time preparing and working on not only things she's doing well, but certainly the things that she needs to improve on. And we got her in the lineup as a DP, and then there was just no way to take her out. We had to find a spot for her bat. So
let's talk a little bit about the conference. Now we've added four new schools. Two of those have softball teams. Azusa Pacific being, one of the top NAIA programs.
Sure.
How strong? You've been in the conference a long time. You guys will obviously be leaving after this year. But what's the state of softball in the PacWest?
Oh, we're so excited about all the schools that have come to the PacWest, whether they've added softball or not, because they just continue to strengthen the conference all the way around. And Azusa Pacific is outstanding. You can look at what they've done at the NAIA level, just like you could with Cal Baptist, and they add so much to us. And of course, we're happy to have them in our pod. And it's great because when we're going to these high region tournaments like Vegas, certainly with Cal State Stanislaus, it's great because we know the PacWest is very well represented. And I saw the order of finish, the predicted order of finish, and I'm looking up and down, just going, oh my gosh, we just are stronger and stronger every year, and we're just excited. It just helps us in the conference, and certainly you get to play good teams a lot. It's just going, your kids are going to have to improve, or they're going to get passed by. So we're really excited about all these new schools that have come in.
You can go down that predicted order of finish pretty deep, and any one of those teams could actually win the PacWest.
I agree. There is no day off. There's no day off in conference, and you are going to have to be, very, very much on your game and hope you get some breaks as well, because the competition up and down is just going to be incredible. So.
Well, Ann, we wish you the best of luck, and I know this is your last go-around in the PacWest, and it's been great, working with you over the last 7 years, at least that I've been in. It's been fun to watch your team, and we look forward for an exciting season this year from Grand Canyon.
I sure appreciate it. Thanks so much, Tom.
All right, thanks, Ann Pearson, the head coach of Grand Canyon University. Next up on the list from Dominican University of California, Sarah Iwada from Dominican, and she's the interim head coach over with the Penguins. And then after that, Steve Rianda will be joining us from Notre Dame, Dana Moore, and then Lisa Thur from Holy Names, and David George from BYU Hawaii, Kent Yamaguchi from Chaminade. And as we get Sarah on the phone, just to kind of remind you, if you just joined us, California Baptist, 6 first-place votes, 133 points, picked to repeat as the conference champion.
Hello?
and Dixie State and Grand Canyon are tied for second. And joining us now is Sarah Iwada from Dominican University of California, the softball coach. Sarah, welcome to the PacWest Softball Media Day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Sarah, let's talk a little bit about the Dominican softball in the upcoming season. Who for you are the exciting players that we should be watching for?
For me this year, I feel like I have three. One defensively, Kayla Rodriguez. She'll be our shortstop this year. Unfortunately, Kayla was injured last year halfway through conference. This year, she's just such a solid rock over there. She's such a leader, especially with having 5 new faces, 5 new freshmen on the team. She's really stepped up and been a leader for all of them, giving them great examples. In the circle, we have Ashlyn Moriarty. She's a freshman from Temecula. She has such a presence on the mound. She just is really mature for her age, and she doesn't realize what's going on around her. She just does what she needs to do, and she just pitches. And then offensively, Kaylee Klingberg. She's a junior, and she was our best hitter. She's very consistent. She can hit for average, and she can also hit for power. So I'm really excited to see what she can do this year.
I know that you guys didn't win a lot of games last year, but there's a lot of excitement around Dominican athletics overall. You've seen the success of some of the other teams, and it seems like with you guys this year, you have a lot of young players. There's an air of excitement about the team.
Yes, I'm very excited and very optimistic for our team. As long as they've come together very well in the transition, and as long as they just stick together, play their own game, play to their own potential, we're going to definitely be successful this year.
Who do you guys open up with this year?
We are down in Charlotte for the Best of the West tournament. On Saturday, we play Cal State Dominguez Hills and Cal State Monterey Bay, and then Sunday, San Francisco State and Chico State. So I'm really excited just to open up with, Dominguez Hills and Monterey Bay. They're picked preseason in the CCAA as 1 and 2. So, I know that's always been a really tough conference, having, UC San Diego going and getting second in the national championship last year. So I'm just really excited to just be tested right out the gate. I mean, this is going to be a good test to see where we're at. We got to play a few games during the fall, and we've done a lot of game-like situations in practice. I'm just excited to have the girls finally get to see, some other competition and see how they match up. Well,
Sarah, we wish you the best of luck, and we're excited to see what the Penguins do this year. Good luck in that Best of the West tournament that starts this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Sarah Iwada from Dominican University. Now, Steve Rionda from NDNU will be joining us. The Argos were 11-19 in the conference last year, 25-32 overall. And Steve's been with the program for a number of years. It's NDNU is a growing program. He's done a terrific job there of building the softball program at Notre Dame, and they are right in the heart of that Bay Area competition where the PacWest has Holy Names and Dominican and Academy of Art. Now joining us is Steve Rionda from Notre Dame de Namur University. Steve, welcome to the PacWest Softball Media Day.
Thanks, Tom.
Let's talk about the upcoming season for Notre Dame. You guys last year, 25-32, 11-19 in the conference. You had some big wins last year. Are you getting a lot back this year, or do you have a lot of new players? Talk about what your expectations are this year.
Yeah, we have seven seniors returning this year, and we definitely lost a couple of good players last year. But I think last year the chemistry just wasn't there, and this year we seem to be running on all pistons. So this should be an exciting year for us.
You've been in the conference a number of years. You've seen it grow with the new schools coming in. How competitive? Can you put into perspective of how competitive the PacWest is for those that are fairly new to it?
Yeah, no, I think the PacWest, especially with some of the new additions of the programs, Cal Baptist, Azusa, I think it's going to be a hard day every day in conference. So, it's exciting because it brings a level of competition up with your own team as well. So hopefully we play up to the level of our competition and get some good wins this year.
Let's talk about some of your players. Who, for fans that are going to follow NDNU and follow the PacWest, who should they look for this year that'll make an impact?
I think our number one pitcher, Sammy, is always going to make an impact. I think last year she pitched well. Her ERA, I believe, was under 2, and just didn't have some of the defense or time some of the offense behind her. But she's definitely going to be an impact. I think we add a lot of speed and mix in some power here and there. Mary Ortega, she's swinging the bat really well. Brianna Young swinging it well, and then we have a lot of good contact hitters that once they get on base, could easily turn a single or an error into a triple.
And Steve, who do you guys open up with?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Who do you guys open your schedule with this year?
This year we open up lovely Cal Baptist and Azusa Pacific.
And those are two tough games to open up with. Are you sensing that Notre Dame was the first in the PacWest from the Bay Area? Now you add Holy Names, Dominican, and Academy of Art, and in some Fresno Pacific eventually is looking at adding softball. But when you look at that Bay Area, do you start to see rivalries building with those schools now that everybody's been in the PacWest for a couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. With the teams that used to be in the NAIA have now kind of come over here to Division II. It's definitely sparked some old rivalries. When you go to a basketball game or a lacrosse game in any of these schools up here, you can definitely feel some of the rivalries and tension. So I definitely think that's going to continue throughout softball as well.
It's great for the PacWest, great for NDNU, great for the Bay Area. Steve, good luck this year as your team makes its way through the schedule.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks. Notre Dame Dana Moore head coach Steve Rionda. The Argos picked to finish 8th in the PacWest, but they picked up a lot of big wins last year, Joe. And they're going to be a team with the veteran leadership on that squad. They're going to be a team to reckon with this year. Next, Lisa Thur from Holy Names University, the head coach, and the sports information director. Holy Names first year in the conference. They were 23 and 21. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Lisa, who doubles as the sports information director. I tell you what, Lisa, you got a heck of a job trying to do the stats, do the PR, and coach. That's a real challenge. My hat's off to you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's all about balance.
Now, when you and I talk a lot, we talk about sports information because we do a lot. Today, you're the coach. Let's talk about your softball team. You guys were 23 and 21 last year. Holy Name softball. Talk about some of the players that we can look for that are going to be exciting for the Hawks this year.
Sure. I have two seniors who both not just incredible players, but really phenomenal women. Jordan Elwood and Allison Snyder are both seniors this year. Allison is just amazing all around. She pitches, she plays the corners for us, and Jordan is outstanding in the outfield. Jordan will be doing some of the leadoffs. And then also Alexis Moctezuma really hit well for us last year and does a lot of diving in the left field.
And talk about, you've kind of had a jump start as opposed to your players because of your role in the athletic administration side of being involved with getting indoctrinated with the PacWest, where most coaches they kind of come to it as their season starts, really. I mean, they're doing stuff year-round, but being in your different roles that you do there, do you think it's helped you in your coaching role that you kind of know, okay, I've seen what the soccer teams have done. I've seen what basketball's going through now. As a coach, I see what those coaches are going through now. I can kind of use some of that to help my team get through the season.
Yes, having the opportunity to travel to several of the institutions, I was very lucky to be able to go over to Hawaii and see, just seeing the fields and also meeting some of the coaches face to face, some of the softball coaches face to face, and athletic directors prior. I feel more prepared than I probably would have just being in my coaching position and not having those opportunities.
When you went over to Hawaii with what, soccer or basketball?
With soccer. With
soccer. So, and it was what, maybe, how long, like a week-long trip, 8-day trip?
Yeah, probably not quite that long, but yeah.
So now, a lot of times coaches, especially coming in with softball, that trip is daunting because they really don't know what to expect. So now you've already been there. You know what the airport's like, and people don't think about it. You know what the hotels are like. You know where you can go eat. So that probably helps you when the time comes for you to do that.
Oh, exactly. It's already having, I don't want to be leading, it's not the blind leading the blind. I want to be, I want to make sure my student athletes are taken care of. And so it's nice to know what to expect the second we get off the airplane. It's
probably good, too, the whole travel. You're seeing a team, how they traveled over there for the first time and what the coaches did. And you can look at the things that, okay, I can learn. We can do this a little bit different. So now when you do it, it just makes the coaching aspect where you can concentrate probably on the coaching aspect a little bit more and not worried about the logistics as much because you're familiar with it.
Exactly.
So, well, Lisa, look, who do you guys open up with this year?
We're actually going to open up with Dominguez Hills. We're playing in the Stanislaus tournament on Saturday, so we're opening up with Dominguez Hills.
Well, great. We wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing how Holy Names does this year, and we're glad you're part of the PacWest.
Thank you. We are honored to be part of the PacWest.
So, Lisa Thor, the head coach of Holy Names University, and now we'll jump over to David George from BYU Hawaii. And Joe, if you remember, David was in the studio with us this summer. He's from the Phoenix area and took over the job. One of the few coaches that had an opportunity to do that, and I think that was the show where the video got damaged, and it's the one show we're missing. I know you've been looking for it, but so we wanted to have David on again. When he comes back to the Phoenix area, we're going to have him back on in the studio again. But BYU Hawaii, a solid program, taking over for Scott Lowe. Scott Lowe did, as Lisa did, he's the sports information director, has a myriad of roles in the administration, and coached for a couple years and held that program together and started it back on the right path. And now David George has come in to just coach, and he's going to be joining us here shortly. And then Kent Yamaguchi from Chaminade. It is early in Hawaii. It's about 9:27 in Hawaii. And the Seasiders are picked to finish 10th this year. But as Ann Pearson said when we were talking to her, it's wide open in the Pacific West Conference on who can win the championship, the regular season championship. Just so people know, there's a regular season championship. There's no tournament for softball, but there are 5 schools that are not eligible for the NCAA yet, and California Baptist is one of them. Azusa Pacific. There's 5 schools.
Hello.
So, David, welcome to the PacWest Radio Show.
Hi, how are you?
Good. David was in the studio with us this summer, and now he's doing long distance. Dave, you've been on a duty there at BYU Hawaii as the softball coach, and since you were in the studio, the reality is you're out there coaching in Hawaii. Can you put it into perspective for us? What's it been like for you being in Hawaii coaching now?
Well, I'll tell you what. The weather is totally different than Arizona.
I can imagine so.
Let me just briefly say that I'm glad it's not 25 degrees here, and I'm glad that I'm not having a problem with my garden.
Let's talk about the program. When you now that you've been there for a few months, you kind of have your team assembled. Are you excited about getting the season started?
I'm very excited. If you hold on, I have somebody going by me here. I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's live radio.
I'm
so
very sorry about
that's
this.
okay. You said you're very excited about starting the season this year.
I'm supposed to be in my office, and I got stuck out on the field because it rained, and I had somebody with my field, so I'm just trying to get away from it real quick.
It sounds like it's thundering and lightning.
Is that rain we're hearing?
He said it was raining.
Wow.
I think he got caught out in a rainstorm. He got rained out of most people get rained out of games. He got rained out of the radio show.
Wow.
That's a first.
He's gone, huh? Oh, here he is.
Can you hear us now? Okay. Is it raining heavily there?
Okay, sorry. Is that better?
That's better. That's great. So, is it raining heavily there?
It's not raining right now.
Okay. It's
thank goodness.
Talk about your team this year. Who are the players we should watch for?
Well, we have a couple of seniors on the team that are going to be our leaders. obviously, we have Tiffany Frampton, who's from Arizona, who's going to be one of our team leaders, and we have Haley Soames, which is a senior that transferred from junior college in Mississippi last year. I have a couple of newcomers. I have a shortstop this year that's a freshman from Utah by the name of Hannah Kelson. She's going to be a big influence, I think, and I guess those are probably the top three girls I would say that we're going to be looking at.
What do you, when you kind of look at, and I know you've been a coach for a long time, but when you look at the PacWest and you're at BYU Hawaii and you look at the travel schedule, you know, other than Chaminade and Hawaii Pacific, when you're on the road, you're getting on an airplane. Is that something that you had to get used to, or did you coach elsewhere where you had to deal with a schedule like that?
Well, the mode of travel is different. The amount of time of travel is just a little bit more than in some places that I've been. Obviously, when I was in Texas, we sometimes had to travel 4 or 5 hours, you know, by vehicle. But, you know, 4 or 5 hours by plane, 4 or 5 hours by vehicle is, you know, or 6 hours by plane. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit longer, but it's still kind of travel. And travel is travel. There are some things with flying now, of course, after 9/11, that have changed the picture quite a bit. So, you know, I have to be aware of that more often, obviously.
Who do you guys open up with this year?
Well, actually, tomorrow we leave for Hilo. We're going to go over and we're playing in a little Hilo round-robin tournament, and we open up against Western Washington.
Wow, that's a big region game to start the year off with.
Yeah. You know, it really is.
It's a good way to get indoctrinated. When you were in the studio, you talked about that coaching at BYU Hawaii was something that you had thought about several years before, and now that you're finally there, is it kind of what you envisioned? Are you just excited about being there and doing this?
Well, I'll tell you, it's more than I ever thought. It's for me, it's just an unbelievable place. I'm gonna, when I first talked to you, I hadn't really ever even been on campus. Now that I've been here, it's almost, even still, it's kind of surreal because day to day, it feels like there's a dome over. I mean, obviously with the rain, I wish there was a dome over it, but it just feels like there's a dome over the campus because we're kind of away from everybody else in the island.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be an exciting year for you. We look forward to seeing you as you make your way through the schedule, and if you make it back to Arizona, we'd love to have you back in studio again.
I'll be back in Arizona probably in May at the end of the season, but before next season, anytime during the summer, if I'm around, I would love to come in, and I appreciate this conference. I can't even tell you how tough it is. I've been looking at it, and I really believe that this is probably not just the biggest conference in the country, but probably the toughest in softball anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, at the end of the season, when you come back this summer, we'll have you back in because we'd love to get your perspective as you've gone through it to let people know really how this conference has grown. David, we appreciate you being on. Good luck this weekend over in Hilo.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. David George, the head coach of BYU Hawaii. And then our final guest waiting patiently, Kent Yamaguchi from Chaminade, will be joining us here shortly. And just to remind people, California Baptist #1, Dixie State Grand Canyon tied for 2, Hawaii Pacific 4, Azusa Pacific 5, Hawaii Hilo 6, Academy of Arts 7, Notre Dame 8, Chaminade 9, BYU Hawaii 10, Dominican and Holy Names tied for 11th. And I should clarify, Notre Dame Dana Moore from the Bay Area is 8th. And then Kent Yamaguchi is joining us from Chaminade. Kent, welcome to PacWest Softball Media Day.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going? Great. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. How about me?
Ooh.
Are you getting an echo?
Yeah, a little bit of an echo. Are you on a speakerphone or are you on your Just a regular phone.
Yeah, I'm on my cell phone, but I had it on speaker. I'm going to turn it off.
Okay, great.
Okay, is that better?
That's great. Kent, you've been in the conference a long time, and I've asked a couple coaches this, but, at one time it was the 4 schools from Hawaii and a couple of mainland schools. Now the conference has exploded. How tough is the PacWest now in your eyes?
Oh, my gosh, the PacWest, I got to believe it's one of the toughest. I can't imagine any conference being any tougher, with the teams that came in, Cal Baptist and everyone else, along with what we had with HBU, Dixie, and Grand Canyon, and some of those other teams. The conference is really, really tough.
Let's talk about Chaminade this year, the Silver Swords. Who are some of the top players that fans of the PacWest and fans of Chaminade can look to see this year for softball?
Well, we've got Reina Strom-Okimoto, who made first team all-conference and second team West Region last year, and she returns as our senior. She'll be our leader. She batted around 400, facing all those tough teams we faced last year. So, she's our leader for sure. And we got a couple other seniors in Leticia Baba and Corey Baranovich that are starters for us last year, and we're going to look for them. I believe our defense is going to be strong.
It's what's the biggest challenge to coach in the PacWest? Like I said, you've been here a long time in the conference, and there's a couple coaches like Ann over at Grand Canyon that have been here for a long time. What's the biggest challenge, or maybe a better question is, what has changed about coaching and maybe recruiting in the PacWest compared to like 5 or 6 years ago?
Well, now with some of the additions and the new schools coming in, from when we were just the 4 of us and whatnot, with HBU being always traditionally strong. Now we're going up against schools that they have so much. They got football teams, they got baseball, they're big schools with big enrollment and they're big time campuses and whatnot, and that's what we're facing as Chaminade with a little over 1,000 undergrads, and that's what's getting tough for us. I believe that we're getting better and we're getting tougher, but so is everybody else. And then the schools that have come in, we go to some of the schools and they have beautiful fields and beautiful complexes, and they're good schools.
And before we let you go, I got one more question for you. I'd like you to put into perspective, no matter who you play in the conference, your rivals in Hawaii, and it's really in all sports, but when you play schools, the other colleges in Hawaii, the rivalry's fierce no matter what your records, no matter what the sport. Isn't that true?
Yeah, it's always fun, playing the Hawaii schools, Coach Howard and Coach Brian at HBU, and even, Callan when he was at Hilo for all those years. We're all good friends off the field, and even I look to them for as mentors, but it's always, that's so pride, it's always fun playing each other.
Well, Kent, we wish you the best of luck this year. Who do you guys open up with?
We open up with HBU on the 10th.
On the 10th.
So, familiar foe.
Well, good luck, and we look forward to seeing how Chaminade does this year in the conference. And, you do a great job there with the Silver Swords, so good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Kent Yamaguchi, the head coach of Chaminade University, and PacWest Softball Media Day. Sloan McCann, All PacWest. Here's your All PacWest preseason team very quickly. We announced this in the beginning of the program. Sloan McCann from California Baptist, first base. Mara Rodriguez, second base, also from California Baptist. From Grand Canyon, Kelsey Barrick, who is the preseason player of the year. Emily Green from Hawaii Hilo is third base preseason team. The outfielders, Azusa Pacific's Brandy Andrews, Academy of Arts Elise Cordova, and Dixie State's Courtney Sherwin. The catcher from Dixie State, Marla Ryder. And the pitchers, Maddie Snow from Dixie State and Rita Kim from Azusa Pacific. Maddie Snow is the preseason pitcher of the year. Nicole Upshaw from Grand Canyon, the designated player. For Joe Carrero, I'm Tom DiCamillo. This show will be up later today, Joe, and people can go back and watch it.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to talking to you. PacWest Baseball Media Day next Thursday, live from the Santan Valley in the KQCK studios, the exclusive home of PacWest Radio. For Joe Carrero, I'm Tom DiCamillo. We'll catch you next week.
When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personal